Okay, so here we are back in our tutorial route, and we've added a yard ladder, a small yard, 12 track, to our diverging route and created a loop. And so we're looping back into our main line, and we signaled only where the main line and the loop junctions are. And we have two trains, and we want to send both of these engines into the yard. Pretty standard operation. Both of them are going to be standard freight. So we're going to take a destination. We're going to tell it we want to go to destination 14, which is inside of our yard ladder. And as you can see, the AI or dispatcher has routed it backing into the yard because that's the shortest route, but that's not what we want. We want it to go forward. So we're going to put a destination or a routing flag in there and tell it to go through destination 9 first, and as you can see now it's going forward and looping back towards destination 14, which is what we want. So that's correct. So now let's go ahead and schedule service number 2 to do the same thing, except we're going to go to destination 16. So we know we're going to need a routing flag, so I'm going to go ahead and add the routing flag and the destination marker. The routing flag, we're going to put destination 9. And for the destination stop at point, we're going to put 16, destination 16, which is also in the yard. But as you can see, we're not getting a route indication on our little map. And we're also getting a red X down here telling us that there's a problem with it and that it's blocked by service number 1. So it's allowing service 1 to go into the yard, but it won't allow service number 2 to go into the yard. So let's take a look here. We have to understand blocking, that between our signals are blocks. So all blocks of track are ended by signals, or divided by signals. And as you can see right here, we have no signals. So from there to there is all one big block. So I can send only one train into this area at a time, and since service 1 is already scheduled in there, service 2 is not allowed to enter in. The only way around this is to create some more blocks so that we can get these trains to do what we want them to do. Okay, before we get into the blocking and the signaling of the yard ladder so that our trains can get into it, I'm going to talk a little bit about the signals. So this next little section will be about signals and communications, and then we'll go back to the signaling of the yard ladder. Let's talk a little bit about the signals. Every signal has a link 0, which is the base link of the signal. And then they also can have remote links starting at link number 1 and going up in number. Each link has a database that counts the number of trains that have crossed it or are going to cross it. So for example, in the direction that the signal is facing and in the direction the arrow is pointing, if we have a train coming from this direction, as soon as it hits this link, the link train count goes up by 1. So train comes, touches this link, train count goes up to 1. As the train moves forward, as it runs into another link, the train count for that link goes up by 1. As a train clears a link, which means the end car passes over the link, so there's no more cars, the link that it just cleared sends a message backwards down the line to any links that may be behind it, telling them to subtract 1 from their count. So as the train clears this link, this remote link sends a message back to the base link saying subtract 1 from your train count. So this one will be at train count of 0, and this one is at a train count of 1. And this one stays at a train count of 1 until it gets a message from another link telling it to subtract 1 from its train count. And then it may go to 0. In order for a signal to show clear, the train count for the base link and whatever remote link it's connected to must be 0. If either one of them is greater than 0, then this signal is going to show blocked. So let's take a look at this signal, as it has 2 remote links as opposed to just being a 1 remote link. So we have link 0, and as if a train crosses link 0, we know its train count's going to go up to 1, and it's going to show blocked. And the train is going to continue on depending on which way the junction is switched. Let's say it's going forward. As it goes forward and touches this remote link 1, the train count for link 1 is going to go up by 1. We know that as the rear of the train crosses link 0 is going to send a message back. As the rear of the train crosses link 1 is going to send a message back to link 0 to subtract 1 from its train count. So link 0's train count is now 0. As long as we're connected to link 1 through the junction, our signal is going to show blocked. If we switch the junction to link 2 has a train count of 0, and our link 0 has a train count of 0, our signal will show clear because both train counts are 0 and we are connected to that link. If we switch the junction back, we go back to link 1. Link 1 has a count of 1. Our signal goes to blocked again. Link 1 will not clear until the signal ahead of it sends a message back that the rear of the train has crossed it. So as long as the train is in this block in front of us, between us and the next signal, or any part of it, this train count stays at 1 for this link. It works similarly coming in the opposite direction, that when a train touches the link ahead of us, that link sends a message backwards saying that there's a train coming. So it would increase link 1's count by 1. As the train continues forward, it's going to touch link 1, in which time link 1 is going to send a message backwards to link 0 saying to increase your train count by 1. As the rear of the train clears link 1 coming in this direction, link 1 just subtracts 1 from its train count. Same here, as the train clears link 0 passing in this direction, this link would just subtract 1 from its train count. So this link would now be clear, the signal would be clear, and all of these would be clear. So this is important when you start getting into links that are further away from the signal, or links that cross multiple junctions between the base link and the remote link. Because this opportunity here for this link, this base link, not to get the message from the remote link. It's also possible for the train not to cross the remote link and instead stop and reverse before crossing the remote links. So we never get the remote message to clear our train count. So the train is coming from this direction, our train count goes up by 1, the train crosses over, stops, throws the switch, reverses down the opposite line. We never got a message here to clear that train from our count. So this signal is going to stay blocked. The second way that we can not get the message is if the train comes through, crosses over, and stops, and while it's crossed over, or after it clears this first junction, but before it clears the third junction, we throw this switch, which breaks our connection to these remote links. And we're dependent on those remote links to send us a message, but we just broke the connection. And we only listen to the message of the link we are connected to. So we can feasibly, or technically, the train may come through here. We go up to 1, train count of 1. Right here, we throw the switch. The train finally clears link 2. Link 2 tries to send a message back to us, but we've thrown the switch and it dead ends. We never get the message. So our train count never goes down to 0 and our signal never clears.